Welcome to Behind the Pyramids, a Moody Gardens podcast. I am your host, Jared Scheller, and I'm very excited for today's guest, Diane Olsen, curator of the Aquarium Pyramid. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me.
Thanks to you, Jared. This is going to be fun.
I'm looking forward to it. So I always like to refer to Moody Gardens kind of like a real life Sim City, so many different elements, so many different things you have to think about. Can you tell me more about being curator of the Aquarium Pyramid and what all that entails?
Well, I'm really fortunate to work with a team of 30 very talented and innovative biologists, as well as oversee the care of the thousands of animals that live here in the aquarium. It's been a real fun journey. I've been here for 30 years and started off as an education docent, and here I am today curating the aquarium. So it's a blast.
That's awesome hearing that journey too. You just started as, I guess, a docent, and then now look at where you're at, curator of the Aquarium Pyramid.
Yeah,
Um,
who'd have thought?
well, you're really good at what you do. So
Thank you.
let's talk about the Aquarium Pyramid some more. It's a 1.5 million gallons of water is what I read online. I don't know if that's true or not. For some
Pretty
of those,
close.
for some of those who maybe have never been yet, can you tell me some more about some of the amazing things that you can find inside?
So the aquarium focuses on four of the major ocean regions of the world: the North Pacific, South Atlantic, and the Caribbean. And so we're able to showcase all the different or many of the different kinds of creatures, certainly not all, but many of the different kinds of animals and creatures that live in those regions. We have seals and sea lions. We have penguins. We have jellies. We have and thousands of fishes. So it's a really unique diversity of different animals that you can find here, as well as different ecosystems that are represented.
It's beautiful. Like I've gone in there probably well more than dozens, probably hundreds of times since because I started in January, and I've noticed something different every single time.
Yeah, every day I notice something different, so I feel it.
I got a question for you. So, is there any exhibit that, even though you may see it every day, still fascinates you every single time you see it?
You know, I think what fascinates me the most is seeing the animals in the exhibits, their behavior, and I see something new every day. There's always something that surprises me or, was like, what the heck is that all about? There are a couple of exhibits that I really like. Obviously, I started with the penguins, and so those are my babies. But there's a jewel tank in the North Pacific ramp that I think is my very favorite tank. There's so many different kinds of small animals in that exhibit that are just really cool and you don't get to see all the time. And I just find it fascinating.
That's awesome to hear because, like, even just when I've gone in there, I forget, just you were talking about the small fishes, it's there's big, small, medium, all inside there. And, not everybody's always right in front of the window. So it's nice you get a different view every single time.
Yeah, and even depending on time of day, things can be different. So it's
Some like to sleep at different weird times,
exactly, exactly.
right? So you've seen the aquarium, you've been here for 30 years, evolve over the years. What are some of your proudest accomplishments?
Being here has been such a unique opportunity for me. I've gotten to do some really, really cool things. I've been able to fly with seals and sea lions across the country. I've gone to England and Spain, moving penguins over there. Um, I've been with the penguins since they arrived as eggs and back in 1998. I've been able to be part of the planning of the renovation that we did in 2017, and that was really interesting and exciting to be part of. So there's been some really cool things being part of. Oh gosh, I've lost track of how many AZA accreditations, which is a big deal. Those inspections are serious, and I'm very proud of the fact that we've been an AZA, Association of Zoos and Aquariums member, for over 25 years, and been able to be part of that. But I think right now, one of my biggest, one things I'm proudest of is we've been spending the last several years really working on the culture of the staff here at the aquarium. to try to make it as positive and as motivating as it can be. And we've made some really great strides. And I think that's been a real fun thing to be part of, to have bring this staff. They've always been fabulous, but to really bring them into a real cohesive team has been probably one of the things I'm most proud of.
Well, just my interactions with your team has always been amazing. And like, you forget, y'all are some among some of the top in y'all field, some of the most knowledgeable people about all those different animals that are in there. And it's like always nice. Like, I am no expert. I did not get my degree in any biology or anything, and it's always so neat to be able to hear some of their stories and interactions with all the different animals, and they're passionate about what they do.
They are extremely passionate. They love these animals. They care for them as if they were their own. They know everything about them. They can tell you every little idiosyncrasy they have. I mean, it's just they're an amazing team, and being able to work with them every day is something I'm very proud of.
And yeah, I'm sure y'all probably learned how to kind of read the animal's behavior too. Oh, they're not feeling it today.
That's the only way we know what's going on with them, is to watch their behavior. They can't tell us. So we have to really pay attention to behavior, and that makes all the differences. They know everything about those animals.
Wow, I'm jealous. So I know, like, we are an aquarium, but realism is really important to you. What steps are taken to create an environment that helps make these animals feel more like at home?
Well, we work hard to learn the natural and the individual behaviors of all the animals. Knowing what they would be doing in the wild allows us to provide them those opportunities while they're with us in human care. So we work really hard to not only make their exhibits look realistic, but we give them, we have a very strong enrichment program, which allows us to provide other opportunities for them to display those natural behaviors. That is one of the things that we work very hard on, is to give every animal the chance to be what it's supposed to be, and to do the things that it's supposed to do. And I think that because of that effort, they thrive here. And that is of ultimate importance to all of us.
I'm going to go back to when, you started as a docent. Was it a specific animal that really got you passionate about this, or have you always just loved all animals, or?
Yeah, since a kid, I always loved animals. And when I ended up going to school much later than my colleagues did, I had a little life histories in between getting my associates and then getting my bachelor's. But I never in wildest dreams dreamed of zookeeping. It was not in my realm of thought, but it just happened to that opportunities kind of presented themselves. And I started volunteering here, and then I got a job, and then I got another job, and it's just kind of gone on from there.
And so now, how do you balance like the needs of the aquarium's marine life with the educational or visitor experience for those who are visiting?
Well, I actually think that they're one and the same in many ways. If our animals are thriving and doing wonderfully and doing all those behaviors, then that's the ultimate guest experience, to be able to see the animals as they truly should be. So that for us is not only hugely important just for the animals' sake, but it is my job to make sure that the guests are having, the best experience as well. And we've had to make some changes over the years, which have impacted guest experience, but we feel is the right thing to do. We have had a couple of touch tanks where we saw some really bad effects to our animals from being touched by many people. And so we made the decision to close those. And there's been, a little bit of angst about it, but in all, I think when you explain to someone that you could really hurt them, nobody wants that. So our guests have been very supportive that we put the animals' care as a priority.
And that's what I love to see over the last few months, is that, you do put the animals first.
Yeah, always. The animals are our most important thing. Our guests are extremely important, but if they're both doing well, then everybody
Everybody
does
has a
well.
good
And
time.
our guests notice. We know that the people are paying attention, and they notice how well they're cared for, and that that's really important to us.
Yeah, and the great thing about this is you can always talk to somebody, a keeper here or anybody, and they have all this knowledge about what it is needed to care for these animals as well.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you stop a keeper and they're gonna tell you whatever you want to know and more.
I'm like, come on now, it's been 20 minutes now.
Exactly.
I'm ready to go to the next animal. Now, if you know this animal, tell me
Absolutely.
about it too. So, what do you think is important for those watching to know about marine conservation?
Well, I think that one of the things that we have to remember is that oceans are under constant threat. There's so much that's happening. The changing climate is causing catastrophic damages to areas of the oceans. Overfishing. I mean, the oceans feed so much of the world, but yet we don't manage that well. I think that we really need to pay attention and be involved because it's not going to get better without everybody doing something. So, marine conservation is important to all of us. We live on an island. We are surrounded by water. And when the water gets angry, it's not good for us. So, uh, we need to
And
we need
you
to
don't even
really
really
be
have to
involved.
change the world in one day, but even just one person can kind of, I talked to Jennifer earlier, just make a difference and do what they can.
Everybody makes a difference. Everything you do makes an impact. And so just being a little bit more aware of the things that you do or changes you can make. They don't have to be giant. You're not gonna, yeah, like you said, you're not changing the world, but you can change you and you can change what you do. And that if everybody does it, then it's really that's how things change.
Kind of like the butterfly effect.
Yeah, exactly. The butterfly effect. And I can't remember the famous quote about, don't
Butterfly
ever doubt that if
wings.
one person can make a difference. It's the only thing that ever does. And
Yep. And one little thing can make the difference in the future.
yep.
I'm going to ask you this. I get to talk to some of the people in the top of their field like you. What advice would you give to someone looking to pursue a career in aquarium management or marine biology?
I think the biggest thing is be open to opportunities. Just I can only go by my own journey, but I happened to start volunteering here because it was I had time between classes at school and I, just needed something to do. So I came over and volunteered, then I got offered a job. And then when I graduated, I got offered a job in our animal staff. And, I was working in the rainforest, loving it, working, doing interesting things with our education animals. And one day our curator said, "Hey, we need some people to do the penguin quarantine when they come in. Who wants to do that?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, that sounds like fun," thinking it would be, 30 days, maybe 60, be a little break. That was back in 1998, and I've been with the Penguins ever since, and just, they ask if you want to do something and, say yes. You never know. So volunteer where you can, internships, just, really be open. I talk to a lot of people when I'm hiring that they want to, work with the dolphins or work with the whales or something and, have another option because there's very few people who can do those things, but you never know. You might fall in love with stick bugs or jellies or, something that you just never opened up. So I just be open to the world and
All those little animals need a little love.
everything does. Yeah. And they're fascinating. They're amazing creatures. So
So that little something turned into an amazing career. And
absolutely. Never had imagined, but not at all. Then
you didn't say
here it
no,
is.
so that's awesome.
Yeah, it just,
Uh, Last question. Give me your best pitch. Why should someone come and visit the Aquarium Pyramid at Moody Gardens?
well, the aquarium and the rainforest both offer beautiful and unique experiences where you can really have an immersive effect of being around animals. And we have some of the coolest creatures around. Where else are you going to see? Yeah, there are other places, but in the Houston area, where else are you going to see king penguins? We have a beautiful jelly gallery. There is just so much to see that I encourage people to come visit, take your time, really look at things, chat with the staff, um, to be able to get the full experience. But the aquarium and the rainforest both offer such unique chances to see things you just don't get to see in your ordinary day. And I love it here, and I think that you will as well.
That's awesome. I'm sold. Thank you so much, Diane Olsen, curator of the Aquarium Pyramid here at Moody Gardens. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me.
Thank you for speaking with me. It's been a pleasure.
Of course. And for those watching, I want to hear from you. There's a whole lot to see and do here at Moody Gardens. If there's something that I didn't get to ask Diane that you're curious about our aquarium, more about the animals, the feeding, anything and everything, just send me a message, podcast@moodygardens.org, podcast@moodygardens.org, and I'll track Diane down and get that answer for you.
Happy to answer.
Yeah, thank you so much for streaming Behind the Pyramids, a Moody Gardens podcast. I'm Jared Schaller. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you, Diane.
Thank you. Everyone have a wonderful day.
Bye.